Jess, welcome to my channel. And today we are doing a lovely, juicy reading on who has a crush on you. So, spoiler alert, I have already done this reading. There's a couple of piles here, which you can probably already tell from the timestamps that are really long. They are detailed, they are nuanced. There's a lot of information that is just packed into them. And I wanted you to know that going into this so you can grab your snacks, get a little drink, put your feet up, plan an intermission, whatever you do, that's if you want to listen to the full reading, right? So I just want to give you that heads up. There's new information all the way throughout, just so you know. So I also wanted to say that I'm very sorry for not having regular and consistent content up on the channel. It's something that I strive for, and I just wanted to talk kind of openly about this here for a second for those of you who care. My goal is to have a video out for you on the channel every single week. That's what I strive for. It doesn't always happen, and it hasn't been happening a lot recently. And it has taken me a bit by surprise, because back in the day, man, I used to put out 2 videos on the channel every single week without breaking a sweat, And I'm like, what really happened from then to now where all of a sudden I'm having all these struggles? And I think it's been a lot of things. I have grown and shifted here as a person. I was kind of just throwing things at the wall, seeing if I could do this. And now that I know that I can do this, then I'm taking myself a little bit more seriously. I want to get better. I want to get good. I want to, become better. I want to keep improving. And that means the way that I'm communicating messages and the messages that I'm getting. I've also noticed that while I feel like I've developed my relationships with the tarot and with the cards just more and more over time. And as that's happened, I think the messages that I've gotten have shifted and changed right along with me. And the messages that I get now, I feel like are very different than the messages that I used to get back in the day. And the way I would describe it now is very 8th house. And that's come as a real surprise to me for some reason, because it's just whenever I do a reading like this and I'm like, okay, I want to just do an easy reading, a nice reading, a fun reading, as if we were all just in the living room together, laughing, having some drinks, talking about things that are not that serious. That's what I want these readings to really feel like. So I'll choose a reading topic who has a crush on you, just to have an easier go of it and to just have a little bit of fun. And then whenever I pull the cards for that reading, it's always this very deep, very nuanced, very intense message that I pick up on. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm just curious as to why that is. And then when I was doing this reading in one of the piles, pretty sure it's pile number 2, and I don't want that to affect your choice or anything, but it came out where Spirit was saying that, look, Spirit has an agenda here, with some of the people who are coming to this and choosing these piles. That's not really a surprise. I feel like Spirit works through all of us, and Spirit's always kind of trying to maneuver us and use us in the best way possible. But Spirit is seeming to sense that there are some souls here that are just very ready for an awakening process. Like the Buddha said, there are souls here with very little dirt in their eyes, and they can be awakened. And I feel like what Spirit is doing, this kind of came out in one of the messages, is it's initiating that awakening process by shoving you down into your 8th house. On a consistent basis. It doesn't sound like it's all the time, but it is very consistent. So it's whenever you go sniffing around these very deep, very intense connections that Spirit seems to have brought you in the proximity of somebody who you can't really understand them and your connection to them and your energy to them without understanding your own 8th house. That's the lens that you see them through. And so it's every time we use the tarot on this channel, probably other channels that you follow, any way that you go about trying to process this through journaling, through therapy, whatever, you get shoved down into that 8th house. So what Spirit is doing is building up this muscle within you where you're just getting very, very used to that whole process and starting to look at life through that lens, where you're getting really used to asking, what motivates my behavior? Why am I doing this right now? Why am I drawn to this person, this place, this thing? Why am I, what's motivating my behavior? What's moving beneath the surface? And you're just getting used to living life on that deeper level and being very conscious, honestly, about your behavior. That's a very, very spiritual thing, and it can be really difficult to do, especially where the 8th house is concerned. And when you're doing that, this is the story of Scorpio, within the Vedic astrology. Whenever you're starting to shine a light on that 8th house and you keep activating it, it starts to kick up all that dust, because the 8th house is where things like to really settle and go away and to never be seen again. But it still keeps impacting your behavior and your drives and your desires and your motivations, and it bears a lot on your psychology, even though it's not being looked at. So when you keep activating it, it just kicks everything up. It's really uncomfortable. It starts this emotional churning process, but that's what starts activating that Kundalini. And Spirit is wanting you to be on that level, engaged, conscious, aware, clear. I'm just picturing the 8th house is caked on gunk, and clearing that that like kind of from the pipes. So spirit can actually maneuver you in places where that is needed. That level of consciousness and awareness, which you are capable of if you keep getting these messages, then if you're not like pretty much doing it already, so that way spirit can put you in these positions, you know, and know that you're not acting from a place of impulse or trauma or whatever. You're acting from a place of consciousness, and you can be trusted with that. I think a lot of you must have passed some level of testing or something to get that. So that's really come through. And then also I'm learning my own soul journeys, because we've talked about this a lot on the channel, where I'm a Gemini sun in Western, and Gemini is 8 from the 8th house. And that to me is the higher self, you know, that's so it becomes the higher self of the 8th house. Now, all the houses kind of do this to other houses in one way or another, right? Leo, the 5th house, is the higher self of the 3rd house, because it's 3 away from the 3rd house. So, and yes, you do count that house whenever you're doing this, just because I know some people are gonna be like, it's only 2 away, but it's 3 away. And the reason I'm saying that is because Gemini is all about community and communication and looking at things from like this dual perspective. And that seems to be a lot of these connections that you got going on here. You're very opposite from somebody here in a type of way. And that equates to something connected with your 8th house. So I think just a part of my own soul journey is Gemini, right? Learning how to communicate within community dynamics about the 8th house. And I'm just going to be honest, like I'm not there yet, like all the time. I don't feel stable about it. I don't feel like I'm a master at it. But I want to I think this is what I'm practicing for whatever reason. And so this vehicle is like the meeting place where we all kind of interconnect. And I often wonder to myself, like, you know, what's our karma together? Like me and you, like watching this, you know, I know there's a lot of people watching this, but I feel like I have to have a type of karma, like with every person who's like drawn into this channel, because I feel like, you know, we get in here, we tap into this, and I get shoved down into your 8th house with you. Like, you know, every single time we do this. Again, I'm not complaining. It's just what an interesting karmic setup, you know, for the two of us to just be holding hands down there, you know, like trying to sort through things and work things out. And I hope that that's how you feel about it too, because I know it's uncomfortable to talk about the 8th house. That's where triggers live, you know, anything that we're kind of sensitive about. And I'm just a person who very naturally, I don't want to like upset anybody ever. But I also acknowledge that, like in my own life, like my own healing experiences and stuff, a lot of times it's been when spirit has like poked that right button with the right person at the right time, and I can't ignore it anymore. It's like the genie's not going back into the bottle, and so it starts a type of healing crisis. And I'm like, nope, I'm dealing with this. I don't care how embarrassing it is or how like bad it is or how out of the blue it feels for people. Like I need to take responsibility of this no more, you know? And I know how valuable that's been for me, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I know I'm immensely better off, even though it's uncomfortable in the moment. So I know like I might not always communicate things the best, or I might not always get things right here in the readings or something, but I just want you to know that I'm trying, and it really is important to me to be good at this and to be an overall asset to you. And I hope that you feel like, even though you're sorting through all the nonsense of being a human being, which is hard, I just hope you feel like it's better because we're doing this together. I hope you feel like this is helpful, and I hope you feel less alone, honestly. Another weird thing that I think about is I think I probably know some of you better than like your friends or your family, even though like we've not met face to face. That's like another interesting thing that I think about. And I just want to say, like, it's not lost on me that we get into some deep stuff here, and that if you keep showing up to my channel, you trust me to help you do that, and you let me tap into your energy. It's not lost on me. And I just want to say, I know we love each other a hell of a lot, like spiritually speaking. I know we do, or we wouldn't have this kind of a dynamic. So thank you for showing up with me. Thank you for being a part of my spiritual journey. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of yours. And even though it's been a little bit slow going with the trickle in regards to me getting out a lot of content here recently, I think it's just because I'm learning how to do this a little bit better. And as I get better about it, and it solidifies more into like my conscious self, and I'm able to kind of just trust myself, you know, getting this stuff out here, and I can get off my own back a little bit. I know that the content is going to wrap back up, but I will also say this. If you do like my content, I have a Patreon, and I get videos out every single week over there. There's 4 every single month. It's $5 for 4 videos. And I think that's a really good deal. And it's the same. I put a lot, I hope you can tell I put a lot into my readings, and like of care and of just trying to like kind of figure things out. And I do the same thing over there, and we cover like a lot of different topics, and it's a really cool group of people over there. And so if you think about joining that, and if you're interested in being over there, then I encourage you to do that as well. So I just wanted to be very open and honest. But back to this crush reading, I would say, like, back to this lighthearted topic, but some of these are lighthearted, and some there's like a lot of intense stuff that's coming up. So anyways, thank you for being on my channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a person. Thanks for thanks for being you. All right, so we've got 3 piles here, 1, 2, 3, and old Jess will see you at the reading. Okay, so pile number 1, who has a crush on you? This is a very interesting pile. There are 2 people here who have very distinct personalities who have a crush on you, and they could not be more different from one another, and they each like you for very different reasons. But I also want to say this. I feel like overall, the people who have a crush on you and who are drawn into your energy at this stage in your life, because I feel like you are stable, you're accomplished, you might be very well known in your field, in your community. I feel like you're very well rooted. You could be like married to a place, like a location or a cause. I just feel like you're a staple either at a specific location or within a specific field, something like that. And you have a lot to show for yourself. And it's very stable. It's very nice. It could be very luxurious, but it's like you have a lot to offer people. I also get the sense that it's like people come to you at this stage in your life. Maybe this is how people meet you, is by coming to your home or your business, interacting with you. I feel like this is on a career front. I feel like you have a very good reputation as somebody who is solid, dependable, stable, well off, well rounded, somebody who has like traditional family values, and also somebody who the way I want to describe this is like a male version of the Empress. So even if you are an Empress, it's like there's something here about that masculine energy where you know how to do things, right? Yang energy is like very productive and like action oriented, right? But you do things that build up this Empress space, this very stable, very prosperous, very abundant space around you. I just feel like I'm hearing you have the Midas touch, like everything that you do turns to gold, but it's because you are patient, you are stable, you do things with long-term goals in mind. And so there's going to be very specific types of people that are drawn into this energy here at this stage. And like I said, these two people I'm picking up on could not be more different from one another, but I think that it's important for you to know that these two very distinct types of people are drawn to you here at this point in time. So you could be married, actually. Or you have been in the past. I don't know. I mean, we've got the King and Queen of Pentacles here. So if you are in a relationship, then this person could be one of these people that has a crush on you, but which one? Because these two people, they have vibes of like the best of the best and the worst of the worst. And they're complete opposites from each other in a way that is like inside out. And I feel like you kind of have this quality about you too, where you can be... There's something about you that's traditional, but there's also something about you that's very different, like tie-dye. Maybe you, even though you're traditional, we get this energy on my channel where there's kind of like a laid-back, chill, kind of like hippie vibe to people who are very successful and very like rooted and very well-rounded. So I feel like you have these kind of like two energies about yourself that people kind of pick up on. So the first person that I'm getting that has a crush on you, the number 50 is standing out. So I don't know if maybe this is an older person or I don't know if there's like I'm thinking 50 US states. So maybe it's an American, I don't know, or the number 50 is like very like stands out here in a type of way. But this is a person who has just left a marriage, something very traditional. I don't really feel like it suited them all that much to do the traditional thing. But this person, I'm going to be honest with you, they are a bit of a person who wants wealth and who wants stability. And if they have to get married and if they have to do the traditional thing in order to get it, then that's what it is that they're going to do. I feel like this person, this is like a weird and kind of rude thing to say in a crush reading, especially. They think that you're attractive. They think that you are very beautiful or that you're very handsome, but they think that they outdo you in the looks department. And they feel like that's their contribution here. So they're very much looking for a type of like transactional arrangement, but they're not saying that because this person's trying to be your fantasy person. And they are, I do think that they're very alluring. This is a person who pays quite a bit of attention to their appearance, but they would want to come off in a way that lures you in specifically. Like I'm hearing bait. And if you have this kind of casual side to you, then this person is going to try to seem luxurious, but also seem very casual. They kind of view you as an answer to their prayers because they think that they could, once again, like that it would be worth it for them to do the traditional thing with you, because I think that you, again, like you come with a lot of, okay, I heard baggage. Maybe they come with a lot of baggage. Somebody here could. But you come with a lot of like creature comforts and stability. Like they find it like a even trade, you know, that kind of a thing. Like they would put up with that kind of an arrangement, or they think that there's something within you that is also looking for something more along the lines of yes, it looks traditional, but it's also non-traditional. They definitely see that mix in you, that traditional but non-traditional, because this person, like I said, I feel like they have done the traditional thing, but it didn't really suit them all that much. This is like a free spirit person. They want to be free. They like to just be exciting and at the drop of the hat, like change things. But this also happens in their mood. So I feel like they can come off very sugar and spice and everything nice. But I think this person, they feel better than other people and they kind of feel better than you, like in a certain way. I think it's with their looks, but also in terms of their like guile and cunning and being slick it's like an intelligence that is like being slick or slippery, shiny. This is a person who's good with the lure is what I'm hearing. And I said lure, like a fishing lure, but then allure kind of, it sounded like that. So they're very alluring. They're good at enticing. This is, for those of you over on Patreon, we were talking about the pursuer and the target energies in one of the readings. This would be the pursuer that has like a distinctly feminine way where they, with their beauty and with their like, they create. It's very creative, but they kind of bait a more masculine energy into chasing, but they're still the pursuer energy. And so it's definitely a pursuer type that this first person that we're talking about. Now, I feel like the way that I want to describe like the difference here between these two people that have a crush on you is with this mask energy. Notice like the two very distinct, very different energies. And the way that these two energies that have a crush on you work is one of them, and I think it's this one that I've been describing here, they're gonna front tie-dye. They're gonna front, oh, magical, look at all this fun, interesting like stuff that's going on. But inside, they feel kind of this void that they're trying to fill with you. If they were trying to fill with their last partner, they're trying to find a mask. They're trying to find an identity that suits them, that fits them, that they feel comfortable in. Of course, that's not the way that you go about it. So there's never ever going to be like an external mask or an external identity. And I feel like the ways that I'm describing this person is kind of like a beautiful disaster, like a bit of a beautiful mess. And I'm picturing the Helen of Troy card from this deck, smoke follows beauty, baby. I think this person does rely a lot on their physical looks. And yeah, maybe that's what 50 is telling me. Like there could be a bit of like a crisis with this person as they start to age of who am I? Because even this all their identities that it's more like they have identities and personas that they like more than others. And I think with you, they see an identity and a persona that they really, really like. And so there is something about aging and getting older here with this person. I just heard 12 years a slave. I don't know why I just heard that. But there's something about like growing older where this person feels like, where we're getting older will actually shatter this persona that they want to craft with you. It's going to change it or something in a way that over time, I think maybe over a period of 12 years, like it makes it more and more uncomfortable for this person to like kind of wear that persona. And this emptiness, again, it's going to start calling because this person really does need to deal with this inside of themselves. So they see a person who can kind of kick the ball down the road for them a little bit more, where they don't have to focus on themselves. They can focus on the image. They can focus on, because this is a very creative person, actually. Very, very creative. And they're very social as well. And I think they like to play the social games, and they like to, look, I've redone my ballroom in the French style, those kinds of conversations this person does. But even if they've redone their ballroom in the boho style, you know what I mean? Where it comes off more casual, those underlying interests and things that are very rooted in materialism, but also like shine and glitz and whatever, it's still very much a part of them. Now, this person, they do feel kind of empty on the inside, and the only way that this person knows how to deal with this is through addiction and through distraction. So they become I think this person has, like, that's part of their mood swings is like very dramatic, erratic. It's very like they might like to, this could be somebody who likes to fight and then make up. And that's the only real way that they know how to relate to a relationship or relate to love. And it's, again, to build up their own addiction and to keep them, it's on a subconscious level, it's to keep them preoccupied with the mundanity, like with the surface levels of things. Because if they dip any deeper than that, that loneliness, that void energy of I don't know who I am and what I'm doing here, and this actually isn't fulfilling, all of that comes like rearing its ugly head to the surface. And this person's afraid of being consumed by that energy. So I feel like this person kind of flits around. Like even if this person gets out of a marriage or something like that, they're going to do something exciting, and they might actually jump from relationship to relationship. This person needs something to give them a sense of identity. So even if it's not like they jump from a romantic relationship, I think this person could have been quite beautiful. And so they might have had romantic options that wanted some arm candy, and that was really all they were looking for from a partner. But also somebody could give them a little spice. I really think this person wants a house by the ocean or the house by the beach. they might really have an effeminate, okay, I said effeminate, so maybe they have an effeminate nature, but they could really like fish. Maybe they like to keep fish, or they could like the ocean. I'm hearing pescatarian. Maybe this person really likes to eat fish or something like that. But this person's two sides, like they have kind of like outrage, and they get outrage when somebody gets something that they want, and you would definitely be a something to this person and not a someone. But they don't. This is a person who's not honest with themselves about this running. It's like a running that this person's doing, and I know like this is a terrible predicament to be in here with this person, because that's really what it comes down to, is they're trying to outrun this instead of just pausing and like looking at it. And I think they're so beautiful maybe on the outside, and people really don't they just like to be around them because they're beautiful. There's like a real usury energy, and it keeps this person and the other people that they're with very stuck, like on a soul level. But it really comes down to like this person just trying to outrun themselves. And I do just like want to pause and say like, yeah, this person, I think it's easy to maybe like call this person names like they're vapid, or they're cheap, or they're like a gold digger or something like that. And they're coming through like they are just very focused on the material. I'm sure they're very socially pleasing, like to be around. But I just want to pause and just say like, this is a soul in a human body that's struggling to connect with their soul mission. And that because of their appearance, and because of them wanting to craft their identity to fit in and to get what they want, they're just really adept at kind of like going around and around. And we all have little ways that we do that. And I just want to draw that like, you know, back here for this person, that at the end of the day, they're a soul in a body that's just trying to outrun themselves, you know? But this person, like, I'm noticing this fish has its like nose in the air. They think they're better than other people. They really do. And they think that an alliance with you would give them some type of material stability to be better than other people. And I'm hearing especially like their ex. They really want to stick it to their ex, you know, maybe through getting with you. I do feel like this person has a bit of a cruel streak behind the scenes, where they like to make people feel bad for doubting them, or even when their doubt is justified. Like when actually this other partner that they have left was maybe trying to hold this person accountable. Maybe they were trying to have more of a real relationship, you know, and they weren't actually just relating to them. I don't know. It could have been, but I feel like this, anytime somebody tries to actually hold this person accountable, they're slippery like that fish. They're going to kind of, or whenever people kind of signal that they don't buy this person's mask, or they maybe they just feel like, yeah, we all kind of have social masks, but like they try to get to know them a little bit more, then this person gets really standoffish, and they get really mean, and they get really like mean, and they can actually target people, you know, specific people who are trying to do that. I feel like this person also talks a lot about maybe spirituality, but a lot about their blessings and abundance. They talk a lot about that, but it's abundance on a material level, because if this person just had abundance on a spiritual level, they would be, again, confronted with this like inner void type of a thing. Yeah, this person, they might be a little bit outraged with their ex right now, or maybe because their ex has like tried to go after some type of equanimity or something like that. Like, maybe they have remarried, and I don't know. And this is a person, like if they date you, they feel like they own you, like forever, you know, and they feel like you've got to be stuck on them because they're just so beautiful and they're like the best thing ever, you know, that kind of thing. And this person secretly likes to steal other people's partners. So if they have a history of doing that, then they like that secretly, because it makes them feel better than other people. But even if they don't have a history of doing that, they kind of secretly like that other people's partners, or like that they're the prettiest one, or that they, even if they're delusional, because there are people who are like care about real connections, and they wouldn't go for this person. But this person's sort of a bit delusional in their mind, where they think like if they're the best looking person, or if their mask is fitting just right in a particular day, that everybody in the room wants them. When I'm hearing that line from Mean Girls, where it's like, that's the thing with you plastics. You think that everybody loves you, but in reality, everybody hates you because you're a mean girl, right? Like, and this person does have a cruel streak, but they don't fold it into their identity. And I think they might be cruel with the sex that they are a part of, and that they feel in competition, you know, with. Even if it's like, this is like maybe even if this is like some type of bisexual situation, whoever they're in competition with sexually, that's when that part of themselves kicks in. So they are mischievous. They want to get close to power, and they feel like they can do that or wield their own power, maybe a type of social power, communicative power, power involving children, power involving community. I do think this person, there is something here about a community. They really look like they join country clubs, or something here like that. I think this person likes having their picture taken and crafting like an image through pictures and something here like that. But and they feel like the two of you are very different people. Like they're very, very opposite from you. But they feel like that works somehow. Like a connection, even though it's like between two very different people, it works and it satisfies this person's need to secure money and position and something for themselves through traditional means, but also being different, because this person does, I think they feel very different on the inside and very independent. Yeah, I kind of feel like this person wouldn't be in a relation. Like if society was set up differently, and like nobody had to work or anything, I think this person would just be independent. So, and they don't want to look at that within themselves, because I think it starts to make them feel like maybe they're using people for money, or maybe they don't want to admit these kinds of things. They want to tell themselves that this kind of a setup works for them, when I think really this person kind of just would prefer to live an interesting, different life, like on their own. And to have like many different partners so they could keep competing, and conquering. So, okay, now let's jump over to this other person, this other person who has a crush on you, but this other type of person. This person you have a little bit more in common with, especially the work ethic, because I feel like you have worked really hard to get to where it is that you are. I think there could be something about what this person does. It's very scorpionic, right? So it could be like occult, hidden, deep. It could deal with something that is taboo or something involving money, depth, psychology, detective work. There could be something like shadowy or dark about what this person does for a living, but they're not a bad person. They're actually a very, very good person. And I think this person was actually caught off guard by the fact that they liked you. Because when they first saw you, I don't think maybe you caught their eye right when they first saw you, because this is somebody who is very focused on what it is that they're doing, and they are actually very independent, and they don't, this other person here that has a crush on you, they are very sexy. They have like a gravitas, a magnetism. They're very independent. They're a hard worker. I feel like there's something that they're always kind of working on in the background, but whatever it is, it's like they build a depth of knowledge in whatever this is. I feel like this person could be on an 8 path, like in terms of their life path, something very powerful, something very influential. And this second person has very much energy that is like moving like forward. This person has Critica energy, this second person, and Critica for me, it's the orphan. So this person could have, like, that's where this strong independence comes from. They maybe emotionally, I'm hearing like they were emotionally dumped upon as a child, like from their parents. So they have an emotional depth and emotional understanding from playing like armchair therapist to their parents, like the entire time that they should have been like growing and developing. So whatever this person does, they have an in-depth knowledge of psychology that helps them navigate that space. And I think this person really likes sensual pleasures, and you are somebody who seems like so do you. This is very much like the Taurus Scorpio axis that's like really coming up here for me, but you also have strong Leo energy as well. And Leo and Scorpio, even though that is a squaring energy, it just because Leo connects with Taurus on the light grid, it just seems like it works. And so they are very drawn into that energy. I feel like this is a person like sexually, this other person has a crush on you. It's like they're very sensual. You could very like, blindfold them or something and just like I don't know, like get them to taste things or try things or cause different sensations on their body. And this is a person who really, really likes that. They like that exploration of depth and senses. This person might really, really like cooking. They like food. They like partners that cook as well. Maybe they think you cook really well. If you've ever cooked for this person, I think they really, really liked whatever it was that you made for them. Or if you've taken them to a restaurant or something, they really like your style in that. They really like your taste in that. I think this person likes a good backyard grill situation. Maybe like where you char something just right or something like that. But this person, I think they're destined for some kind of prominence, but this person works really, really hard behind the scenes in order to build up some kind of depth. So where this other person that we were talking about, they come off very tie-dye on the face of them, but then they've got this like black hole that kind of always calls to them that they need to address something within, but they really are determined to stay on the surface of things and give this appearance that everything's fine and everything's colorful and everything's wonderful, right? This other person might give the impression that they don't really have much going on, or they might have this like, they might seem very deep or very Addams Family, like maybe goth, or it's not necessarily that this person wears dark colors and like broods in a corner. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that, although maybe. But it is, they come off. This person actually, this second person, they actually have something very valuable that they're doing within that is very different, that's very unique, and they need to be protective of it. So I don't know how conscious they are of this, or if this is just kind of connected with their own mission, that they need to appear uninteresting in order to protect the very interesting person that they are and the very interesting thing that they've got going on. I do feel like this person could use financial support for their projects, but they're very proud, this person, and they're very independent. They're like determined to do things on their own. This might be a person who could use like literally patrons. Like maybe they are on like, I don't know, it's weird because I feel like maybe they could use like a GoFundMe for whatever it is that they're doing, but then they would have to risk putting out whatever it is that they're working on that's so interesting or so deep out there for other people to see. And that's like part of the value is that it's comes from them and it's so interesting. This person has been moving away from a very difficult past, and I do feel like this has to do with in their childhood, where whether this person was an orphan or they just felt very alone and they didn't feel understood, they've been steadily trying to move themselves away from this. This person might have a real passion for adoption. This second person here, because they've always felt alone, and I think that they don't really believe in a dog-eat-dog world, but they know it very well. This person is connected with a deep purpose here for themselves, and that's what they resonate in with you. But here's the thing, and especially if you've been in a long-term relationship with this other type of individual that we were describing, this person, it's like when they realized that they had a crush on you, I feel like there could have been something that you said or something that you did that really caught them off guard, where they just thought like, okay, I'm hearing you're just a twat like the rest of them, like you're just somebody who's out to get your money, out to get your, build your little fiefdom like everybody else. But I feel like you said something or you did something that made this person, because maybe they thought that I think you come off very similarly to this other person, because again, you have actual value. So you have I think you've got a very good poker face. And I think you have a big, broad mind too. Like there's something about you. You have a very alluring energy where it's, again, you're grounded and you're stable, but you've got this Mercury and Aquarius energy where you're always thinking, your thinking kind of pushes boundaries. Maybe you like to read very like out there things that are really pushing forward. And maybe you yourself maybe you've built your wealth pushing the envelope, or doing something in regards to humanitarian things, teaching something online with technology, something to do with legs. I don't know. Maybe you have very nice legs. Maybe this person also has very nice legs. But this is a person, this second individual, that would more hide their beauty. They hide their beauty. They hide their creativity. I feel like we've gotten this energy before. I think this person is actually very attractive, very sexual. This second person's very sexual, but it's very much like it's nobody's business but mine and my partner's. Like it has that energy. I'm not out here showing it off for everybody because it's not for everybody. This person, it's like they're very protective of their sexual energy. Anyways, I think that you came off like very, that poker face. And then you said or did something that it cracked, and this person realized that you were kind of like them, that you had a lot going on that was interesting and tie-dye, like beneath the surface. And maybe I'm hearing beautiful mind, like that you had a lot of very interesting thoughts and things like that. And then this person started having a crush on you. And I think it scared them and it startled them. And they were like, what? No. But if there were these other types of people around you and you tolerate it at all, and, you know, especially the sexes don't do such a great job of reading the motives and things as each one of the sexes does itself. That's kind of just what I've noticed because, you know, they've been in the locker rooms, you know what I'm saying? And they open up to one another and whatever. So I feel like maybe you're just being nice, or maybe this is part of your business that you have a lot of people around you or something. But it's almost like this person is in deep denial that they have a crush on you, because I think they look around you, especially if you've got a very prominent person next to you in any regard, but especially like a romantic partnership, if this person knows your history, like your ex history, if you have been involved with this other type of person, this person knows it. They can see that this other person doesn't have a lot going on. They don't have a lot to offer other than this very surfacey level thing. And it reflects badly on you, I think, in this other person's eyes, or they tell themselves like, I knew it. I knew pile number one was vapid. I knew that they were surfacey. I knew they wanted arm candy. I knew they didn't have a lot going on upstairs. Like they kind of talk bad about you, like in their mind. And they encourage that. They fan that fire and that image of you, of that you just want a pretty face and you don't care about a pretty heart or a pretty mind or somebody with substance. That's like what they tell themselves about you. And they kind of like, yeah, they judge you. And they don't talk to you, I think. They kind of just keep to themselves. This is a person, the second person, they're very goal oriented. So they keep their eye on the prize is what I'm hearing. Look at this energy. Like they're moving. They view you as a troubled time for themselves. And this might have to do with you and this other situation that they've got going on. I'm hearing this person could have made their time a real living hell whenever they were around them. Because that's what this person does. They kind of scare off the competition. Anybody who has like an actual core, I think this other person, it's too much of a calling for them to engage in their own core, you know, that they might get very competitive with them. But, yeah, but I feel like this person, it might have had to do with you specifically, but it also could have been that they associate you and maybe a place where everybody was schmoozy. And I'm hearing circle jerk. Like everybody's just rich and cares about that to a large degree. Like rubbing elbows like that. They might associate you with an environment like that. And that could be a town, or that could be like a country club, you know, where maybe this person worked at that country club, or they were there, but they were like in that cafe part of it, but they were working on something. I don't know. They view that as a dark time and a time that they need to get away from in order to like achieve their own goals. Because this is, like I said, this is a person with a lot of goals, and they want to collaborate with people. They want to build something solid. And in order for them to do that, I feel they need to get the foundation set for themselves, because they have some type of, I want to say propriety. It's not the right word. Some kind of information that they don't, it's valuable, it's different, it's unique, it comes from them, it's their heart is what I'm getting, and they want to secure it and fasten it into the world. And I do think this person would never like admit it, but they see you as somebody that if they were aligned with you, that you would understand. Like they don't admit this to themselves. This person tries to very much shut that down, and that you could help them. You understand. I think this person feels you understand the material world a lot better than them. This person does understand people though, a lot better than you. Especially, and they recognize that if there's these other people around. And this person, the second person values their psychic space, like to a large degree, where they're not going to have this around them because they always have to have their guard up and then navigate around. So this person is kind of, socially speaking, the equivalent of never going to the grocery store hungry. Like don't build a community in a space where you have to navigate using guile and psychology. Whereas this other person, that's how they navigate their whole life, is through guile. This other person, the first person who has a crush on you, they might have been married for 12 years. Maybe they felt like they were 12 years a slave. And that's what I'm getting. Or maybe you have been with this person. I don't really know. But, okay, or there could have been a 50th anniversary. maybe there was a 50th wedding anniversary around you. I don't know. But this other person, right, this first person, they also operate, but it's like from dark psychology. And it's funny because I feel like this second person, they come off like Morticia Adams, like there's maybe a depth to them. And that classic meme of the Barbie dolls that says, "You can't sit with us," to Morticia Adams, and she goes, "I don't effing want to." Like this person kind of has that vibe where it maybe seems that they're more like into dark psychology, but it's actually flipped because this person has done their shadow work and they've accepted their own dark inner core. They're actually a lot more stable, a lot more level, a lot more real. But this other person, they still operate from psychology, but they come off kind of bubblegum and very surface. And it would seem like, oh, maybe this person is pleasant and and that's real. But actually, this person's deeply disturbed. Inner turmoil is what I'm hearing. They've got a lot of inner turmoil and they're too scared to look at it. And they're also scared of being shunned socially. I think this is like a social butterfly kind of a person. And they are actually scared of being the second person. They're scared of that. They're scared of people not being jealous of them because they feel like that gives them their superiority. And that's what protects them in this world, is their looks and the show. And it is like in a weird way for this first person attached to their own security. So they use psychology, but it's on a much more surface level. And because they can't actually come to grips with their own darkness and their own inner core and their own shadow traits, that actually makes them, I'm hearing a snake, it makes them slippery, it makes them hard to trust. But if you were just looking at the face of these two people, it would be easy to call this second person troubled when they're actually just more embracing of themselves. Where this first person might appear bubbly, but they are deeply troubled. And they just connect themselves with people, places, and things that allow them to stay on that very surface level, which they're entitled to do that. We can all progress through the soul's journey, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You can take you can have whatever journey here you want to have. We all will get to the same place eventually. And this person is no different than that, They have their own journey here as well. So both of these people would see a long-term future with you. Like, I feel like this person who kind of degrades you in their mind and gives themselves all these reasons why you are vapid because of the people you connect yourself with, or what you seemingly want out of a partner. It's not them. I think they feel like it's not them. And they want somebody. This is a person who wants someone who values this inner core that they have above all else, and would have valued it so much that they have over their lifetime developed ways of weeding this other energy out. Yeah. So, but they both of these energies see it like a long-term future, a long-term energy with you. They kind of want to put this to bed, actually, but in different ways. So there could be strong sexual feelings. Obviously, this is a crush reading. But this first person wants to put this to bed in the sense that they are not going to clean out like this cobwebs and stuff. They just kind of want to keep going with this like functioning dysfunction that they have honestly within themselves. So they're drawn to you as like kind of a crutch, like as a means that they can keep living that way. And maybe you feel the same way about this person. I don't know. And maybe it works for both of you. Because on a material level, it could work. So it's like hiding from the psychology. Now, this second person wants to put this to bed because they want this to be just a rip the Band-Aid off, painful ending. That person is the jock that's going to break my heart like everybody else. Like nobody ever sees me. Nobody ever sees my value. Nobody, it's like that kind of a tape that goes on here with the second person. I feel like the second person is very sexy though. And actually they have like a magnetism more so than this first person. And it comes from that energetic core, but they tamp it down. And I'm getting that something bad happened to this person. Something really bad where they felt alone. With Scorpio, I mean, this was bad. It could have happened with their parents. It could have been a sexual thing. I don't know what it was. And like I'm telling you, literally could be anything, but it's like this person, they think that they deserve that level of treatment. And they think everybody's just going to disrespect them. I think they're drawn to the safety of being with someone like you. Well, you look like a person who could afford lawyers. Do you know what I mean? Like, Nobody's going to mess with you. That kind of an energy. I think this person's very drawn in by that. But this is also, the second person is never going to approach you. It's funny because this first energy is a pursuer energy. You'll definitely think you're chasing this first energy. You're not. You were targeted. You feel the way they want you to feel about them. This person's good at it. Very well practiced. They might not even realize they're doing it. That's how good they are. I'm sure this person goes around telling everybody they just get chased by men and women just left and right. Oh God, like I just can't keep them off me. They're doing it. They're doing it on purpose because to like feed their own sense of identity. But this second person really is very self-protective. They don't trust people, not to abuse their power. I think this person is afraid of being alone with people. Until they get to know you. But this is like a person where it's like a very, very deep connection that they're looking for. And I'm hearing like this reflects each of the way that these people, their connection with spirit is. There's strong purpose energy here. Because when I was shuffling these cards, Pele came out and it's like the volcanic, Pele energy. Now with this first person, I feel like this is I'm hearing like destroying what's old, preparing for what's new. Because this person I feel like has up and left marriages or like up and left situations, and it was very shocking. It was just like, oh, I don't feel the same way. And, but this person, it's because they don't feel much at all. They, at least not in their current state, because they keep running from their own inner core. And so, they flip kind of around to whoever gives them more, because they're like a cold-blooded animal where their warmth comes from external things, from people being jealous, from like praise, whatever. And so that's that like destructive. I think this person has a temper on them and they don't even know where it comes from, because it comes from them just not dealing with their own inner core, their own inner darkness, their own like void energy. And this person's pissed because they resent this state of things that they have to put on this song and dance, and that they can't just do whatever it is that they want to do without being destitute. That's how they feel in their mind, and they're pissed. And they will harbor like a sudden resentment towards you that might come out when they're 50, or I'm just wondering what that energy is. 52? I don't know. Yeah. So that's where that energy comes in, where this other person is, they have a strong sense of purpose here within themselves, but they feel like they've got to carry it on their back until they get it over the finish line. I feel like they see you have a strong sense of purpose as well, but it's like this person's trying to destroy the way that they feel about you, because either you're with someone else, they feel that it's betrayal energy or it's inappropriate. And they are kind of like angry at you for being everything, but then being connected with an energy like this where they're like so close, like so close. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting for you guys, pile number one. Let's just get some messages. I feel like this is the second energy is what I was going to say. You found out something about me. I hope you're not with someone else, because they think that if you are with someone else, they're not impressed by this other person. They kind of think it looks badly on you. Once you just at all, I'm watching somebody chip gold flakes off of something. Okay, your kindness has changed my life. I keep writing and deleting messages. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what I'm feeling. This person does know what they're feeling. It's attraction. But they refuse to feel it because they don't feel like they're allowed to, or that it's safe to, or this second person's all about safety. They might come off, I think this person comes off very strong, very confident, very independent, very aloof, very like they don't care about anything. This person feels very, very deeply. This like whole I don't care and I'm strong and I'm independent thing, I'm sure they are. I wouldn't want to mess with this person. They are connected with a power source, and it's only just, I'm hearing it hasn't even begun to come out of this person. But when it does, it's gonna reach such a point within them that it's gonna start leaking out of their pores. But this person absolutely knows what they're feeling about you. They refuse to feel it. This other person, let's get some messages from them. Their person that has a crush on you, which I feel like you might be with, actually. I'm scared you're moving on, and that's the only one that wants to come out. Maybe this one. I'm in love with you. I'm thinking of forever. this even, I'm noticing the exclamation points. I don't know why. It's like, if you are with this person and you've been with them for a while, I just feel like it should be more equanimous. There shouldn't be an exclamation point. Don't let me shit all over your relationship. But it's like, why are they screaming it at you in like this exuberant fashion? Why wouldn't they just say like, I love you, you're my guy, you're my girl? Like, you know, why wouldn't they just, this feels over the top. I feel like there's an energy about this person that when they start to feel threatened in their relationship, they just go over the top with it. That's how you know this person's kind of running on their fear tape, you know? It's performative, it's desperate, it's grasping. I'm thinking of forever. I wish you wouldn't push me away. They're scared that you're moving on. And it makes them feel insecure about their like the Two of Pentacles. It makes them feel insecure about their financial position. This is like, it all comes back to this, like, I don't know, like maybe you like to have the security of this too. I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm getting. But I think everybody in this pile that's involved here is like having a good think. They're having like a good meditation. They're clearing, like, I feel like that's this scenario, whatever it is, you being who you are and other people liking you and responding to that energy in whatever way they do. It's like a strong mirror. I think you hold up a strong mirror to people. It's like you and everything that comes with you and everything you represent, you hold up a very strong mirror to people to get to see who and what it is that they are. And if you know how to use this right, you can see other people too, for who they are. Just like, but you'd have to understand the Hawthorne effect in psychology. You have to understand that you kind of are a focal point and you're being observed because of everything you have to give to people. So their behavior naturally changes whenever they're around you. So it might be difficult actually for you to, because it's normal for you, I guess. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's what I'm getting for you guys, pile number 1. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys. number 2, who has a crush on you? This is very interesting because right away I'm having a lot of emotions that are just like bubbling up to the surface, rising to the surface, and none of them are pleasant. And I just feel an extreme amount of resistance here to like this reading. I don't want to do it. It feels turbulent. I don't want to dip into this. I just want to go to the kitchen, have a snack, come back, and start pile number 3 and hope that nobody notices that there is no pile number 2 to this reading because I feel very overwhelmed and exhausted. And we have not even started to get into this reading. And I'm saying that because I think that matches how you feel about this masculine energy that has a crush on you whenever you think about them. And I also think to a certain extent, this is how they're feeling about themselves, like all these kind of negative emotions that are bubbling to the surface. I feel like this masculine energy that has a crush on you is kind of going through some kind of a reckoning in his soul where he is taking a personal account. This is like there's been a divine judgment here that's been passed upon this situation, but he is now reflecting, taking responsibility for the decisions and the actions that he's made in his life that are not in alignment with his values. He's really starting to come to grips with that. And I think there's a particular decision in his past that has to do with a love interest that it's like it started a chain reaction in his life. He's able to put these pieces together where he realizes that's when he started to veer off of the nice, healthy path that he had really started for himself in the beginning. So the other thing is that this masculine is very successful in the material world. And that's something that you would know and understand here about this person. And the words I want to associate with them are stature and stoic. So in terms of stature, I feel like this could be a masculine who's like very tall or very broad. They come off like the mountain, very respectable, but it has to do with their energy too. They could be like the strong, silent type, but I think that they really like kind of cut an image, like whenever you see them, they have like a strong, presence. I don't know. I feel like they have a strong presence. And in terms of like this stoic nature, right? I don't think they give much away in terms of their emotions, but I'm also hearing stoicism. So I think this is a very philosophical masculine that might actually really resonate with Stoic philosophy. And the basis of Stoic philosophy is all about dealing with the world as it is. And I think that's something here in this masculine that you really like, you really relate to, and you really connect to and respect within this masculine is that they learn how to be effective by just, this is what it is. This is how I have to meet this situation in order to be effective in this situation. That's something that you would really respect about this masculine energy. Now, one thing that's coming through really, really strong is I think whenever you think about them, it's like you can never just think about only them, like as a person, like isolated out, like only them. Whenever you think of them, I'm hearing if you think of them at all, but whenever you think of them in conjunction with something bigger, like something else. So either there was a situation that's gone down here between the two of you, or there's a place that you associate them with where they are very much this focal point of, they're the center of it. I don't know if they own it, they built it, they run it, something like that. Or you think about a time in your life when this person was central to you. So you could have been in a relationship, you could have been living together, and they were just kind of like around you all the time. So you were like interacting. This would have been like whatever it is that I'm talking about, it's substantial. I think it was like at least a couple of years, that you were around this masculine energy. And the thing is, for all of that, I think you walk away from it and you wonder who they are. Because they come off one way and you thought that they were one thing. And there's things here that have really cast that into doubt in your mind. So even when you think about him to this day, there's a type of confusion that comes through. And I want to say, I think it's disturbing to you on a type of level that it's unclear who this masculine is. And it has to do with their choices and their values and how they make their choices that seem to contradict their values that they express or that you thought they had, something here like that. Now, I feel like whenever you met this masculine energy in the past, they were a wish fulfillment. That's how you related to them of, oh my gosh. Now, if this was on a romantic level, which it very well could have been, it was like, oh my gosh, that is my guy. There he is. It very well could have been that. But even if it wasn't romantic, then this could have been like a boss, like he's your dream boss or something like that, because maybe you worked in environments or other situations where it just like I'm getting more fiery energy where things had to be quick and sloppy, but like flashbang and just kind of like repeated, whereas you wanted to build something up that was more substantial or something. And so it never really resonated with you. So if this was, again, a work situation, you felt like this person that was your boss like had the same values as you, understood your vision here, and would allow room for you to work and express yourself in this manner, right? Something here like that. Now, what drew you to this masculine and why you thought they were wish fulfillment for you is this earthy energy that you thought you had in common. However, in whatever arena of your life, whether it's romantic or work, school, whatever it is, where you thought you had a lot in common, you thought that it was because you had a shared value of earthiness, where you thought this, because you certainly have this, where you like to build something, you're long-minded, you play the long game, you want to build something and you take pleasure in building something, and you like the challenges and the grit and the digging your heels in of like building something over the long term, really setting that solid foundation. But everybody who has worked on this earth element, right, on themselves knows that you have to do this even when the going gets tough, even when you grow through like awkward phases and stuff. That's why it's so admirable when people have this energy. And I feel like it is kind of rare whenever you see it, because we do live in a bit of a disposable world and things like that. And so this is the energy that you really like respected and admired here in this masculine. And it was apparent in his career that he had these values, or this is why you associated him with these values. So either he had built something where it was clear to you that he could not have done that if he was quick or gimmicky or, something like that. Or it was just the approach that he took and his philosophy. Like, I think there's something about like his philosophy was very well built into his career here. And then something happened. Okay, that really cast all of this into doubt here for your mind. And I think it was, I'm kind of getting that you met this masculine energy first, but then there was somebody else around this masculine. And as soon as you saw this person, or as soon as you met this person, I think it just put a splinter into your mind about, oh, that doesn't make sense. That's not in alignment with what I know about him, right? Because this person expressed different values. So having them so close, because they run a tight proximity here to this masculine energy. I'm just picturing them circling around this masculine energy. It is a fence and it's a perimeter is what I'm hearing, but it's kinetic. It's not like a wall or anything like that. It's a wall that is built up through action, passion, anger, and movement. And really, it's a battle here for this masculine's attention. Keep them distracted. This is not a masculine who, before they got involved here with this other person, was easily distracted. I think they were long-minded like you. I think they had their eye on the prize, and they were like always very balanced and very, I want to use the word sober, very moderate, like, and just committed to like building their life in the image of their values and making tough decisions and just keeping on towards it. But they made this decision here in their past, and that's like really where everything kind of started to splinter out. But what I want to get across now is like whenever this person was around, that actually disturbed you on some kind of psychological, spiritual level. Something not right about it. And I don't think this is part of where the confusion here comes from, but you don't look directly at it. And I feel like it's important for you to hear me tell you this, because the reason you don't look directly at it is because you're beautiful. Like, you're beautiful on the inside and you're beautiful on the outside. And you have a very cooperative, pro-social worldview, where I think when you meet new people, you don't ask if you like them or if you love them. You ask, how am I going to like this person? How am I going to love this person? And again, you're long-minded. So it's like, how can I relate to this person? Where's our common ground? How can I kind of fold them into my life? You're excited to love people. And I also think that you're the type of person where you like a real one. Above all things, you like a real one. That's what you respect. So you like to see a person who lives their values, even when those values are different than your values, which is how you were synthesizing this person's energy around this masculine energy. Because where you're Venus earthy, right? And so you express a beauty and a harmony and your values that are in tandem with this earthy nature. This person around this masculine energy is Venus fire. So their beauty and their decisions and their values were in alignment with this fire energy. And you were not trying to compete here with this other person. You were not trying to tear them down. I think you were acknowledging that they were beautiful in their own way, even if it was not your preferred way or it wasn't your type of beauty. Or your type of value or something here like that, but you were still like being respectful and honoring them and finding the good things in them and trying to like relate to them here on this way. Meanwhile, emphasis on the mean, this other person that's around this masculine energy is opposite to you in many, many ways. And they're definitely not as dignified, and they're a much, much younger soul. Okay, so they are coming across in this Venus fire energy. They don't have a cooperative worldview. They have a competitive worldview. Okay, so they were competing with you. And you weren't competing with them, but I don't think you realized that they were competing with you because you were synthesizing their energy through your own energy of like, we both exist here, we're both valuable, like it's all good, right? But this person, because they're so competitive, they were trying to cut you down. And so I think that's part of the whirlwind here around this masculine, where they created a lot of chaos and confusion around you. They called your value and your beauty and your worth into doubt. And they were also trying to distract this masculine here from you. This is reminding me, I kind of want to tell you something inappropriate. I had this friend, and her husband liked to get this Thai massage, and there was the lady who did the Thai massages at this place I worked. She was gorgeous, like in every way. She was beautiful. She really, really was, and talented, and just all around a great human being. But she was very threatened by her, so she would always like do stuff with her husband before he went in there, because she was like, she did not want him like embarrassing her by getting excited or anything like that. I just thought that was so funny. But I feel like that's kind of the energy of this other person, like around you, where they'll either pop off and get into an argument with this masculine if they feel like they're going to be around you, or they get them all like, I don't know. It's something here like that, where they're trying to pull that energy kind of away, and you didn't realize this. So you might have like kind of felt it though. The other thing is they're competitive like across the board, even in arenas in life where it doesn't serve you to be competitive and it doesn't make sense to have that perspective, like in social situations and building friendships where it's like you should want to be cooperative and make sure everybody gets their needs met. But there's still a feminine energy here to this person, even though it's fire, and fire is a masculine element. There's still a feminine energy. So it's like the way that they compete in these social arenas is by coming across as the fairest of them all, as gracious. They kind of cosplay, as like having all these benevolent and good qualities and good traits and stuff, but it's in a competitive way where they have more of it than other people, and they're just so beautiful and amazing and pure or whatever. And the thing that's really getting me here about this is that I feel like they're cosplaying your energy to this masculine. They're trying to pretend that they have values, and they have this traditional value and this ability to have like something long-term or something. But it's so, so obvious that they don't, because this is a very hard energy to mimic in a way that's convincing, because you would have a track record behind you, of making decisions that were in alignment with your values. Your past would kind of like align with that, even like through thick and thin, where you had to like really live your values even though they were tested. This person who's pretending to be this way absolutely does not, in a way that is very apparent. It's very obvious. And yet this masculine is so busy, or they're so wrapped up in their head in ass situation, or they're just they've got their eye on some kind of like short-term payoff, because whenever this masculine chose to be around this other energy, they turned into a firefighter, right? And we learned about this, like I've worked a lot with kids, and they say you never want to get into that situation with a child where you're just putting out fires, right? You always want to be like in teacher mode, where you're helping them connect the dots and process, so that it doesn't happen again, because they're learning how to manage themselves, and they're learning how to be self-reflective and hold themselves accountable, and they're learning the skills to kind of like navigate situations. So you want to see that progress like in a child. If you just do stuff for them, then you become the firefighter, and there's no learning, and things like keep like happening over and over and over again. And that's basically essentially the relationship that this person's built here with this other person. Now, even if this is not a romantic partner that you see around this masculine, if it's an assistant or a friend or a business partner or something like that, it's still indicative of the partner that they have in their life in terms of love, because this masculine is learning lessons of Venus, that we make our decisions in alignment with our values, and especially like the partners and stuff that we choose, they should reflect our values, and that's how you kind of build things. There's something here where if you just look at this as like a choice between two lovers, it's not that simple, because what happened here in the past with this masculine who now has a crush on you, okay? There's something very balanced. When they came in here, they were very, very balanced between their right and left hemispheres, between their masculine and feminine sides. And they knew that they needed to maintain this in order to live up to their spiritual mission, which I feel like was to be a keeper of the Tao and to work in service of spirit. But they couldn't, all the things that they built, they couldn't build it out of selfishness and as to a monument to their own ego. But remember, I keep describing this person as having their head up their ass for an extended period of time. So, anyways, and honestly, I do think this masculine would laugh about it now, because I think they're this like a funny person. They have like a strong sense of humor, like as a resiliency, and because I'm hearing my now here's a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. um, yeah, I think like this is kind of like a funny masculine. They take things in stride, but they still hold themselves accountable. They're good natured, I think, overall. Anyways, even though they do get riled up, but I'm kind of picturing a pit bull, actually. We're being in this kind of tumultuous situation. First of all, it didn't suit their nature. But I'm picturing, like, how people think that pit bulls are aggressive? But pit bulls are not. They're neutral. They used to be called the nanny dog. People used to let them watch their literal infants because they could be trusted. They were, like, very motherly. But when you torture a pit bull, when you get them all riled up, and they're kind of foaming at the mouth, that's what I feel like has gone on here with this masculine energy. Not that they're not responsible for this in any way, but they're in some type of environment. This path that they've chosen for themselves does not align with their values. It doesn't align with their own nature, so they kind of don't recognize themselves at the end of the day. But anyways, when this masculine was younger, especially like when they were getting ready to leap off from like into young adulthood, like from teenage years like into young adulthood, I think they already knew that they wanted to be, and that's the key word, be a successful masculine energy, like on all fronts. This is somebody who wants a very solid, successful career. They want a very solid, successful family. They want a marriage. They want things that are healthy and that function. And they were willing to put in the work and the time and the effort and to learn all of the skills and stuff that you need to have in order to preserve things like this. They were willing to do that. And I actually think they did a lot of research around this, of like, especially in terms of what careers they could have that would be stable and allow them to provide for a family, and also how to manage money and how to manage money well and have assets and make things grow and stable again. And it's like, I'm picturing it like they're looking something up on their phone and it's like they've got a recipe and they're like, okay, I got my plan and off we go. And it might have actually involved some level of travel where they had to like move away from home or something here like that in order to like achieve this. And they were setting out about this, and they were on their little earthy journey of like, no matter what it takes, and even if I don't get all the accolades that I need to right off the bat, I'm just going to keep going, because all the best stuff in life, that's how you build it, right? Even if you're kind of working behind the scenes and things like that. But along the way, and I want to say this too, I think this masculine's parents might be, like their parentals might be very different from one another, because they're either like one parent's from one culture, one parent's from another culture. They like live in another country and they have to like go visit there. But I'm seeing their parents as like ambassadors for the right and left hemisphere. So they're very strong in their own. And I think this person's mother may have had like a strong impact too on how they wanted to show up as a man and as like a family man and something here like that, either because of a deficit or because of teaching. Anyways, so as this masculine started to progress through life and during their young adulthood years, they started to feel like they should be recognized more, that they should have a certain type of life and a certain type of partner beside them that would get them cred, social cred. They wanted like a more exciting life. They started to turn away from the values of equanimity and balance and calmness and sobriety is what I'm hearing. But this person now has addict energy, which is it's such a shame, obviously. It's a difficult energy to deal with. But they didn't come in here like that. They came actually in here very level-headed. It's not like them to be in that addict energy. But they started to get in this tumultuous relationship that kind of built up an addictive pattern. And it might have actually branched out into other types of addiction. But they started to turn away from this like balanced values and feel like they were owed more. They were entitled to living some kind of like fast, like they wanted people to be jealous of them is kind of what I'm getting. That's how they were determining success. And when people are jealous of you, it's because they feel less than you. They feel like a deficit. I feel like you're part of this karmic retribution because you are this person's love. You are everything that they ever wanted in a partner. They didn't see you. And not only that, but okay. I feel like spirit kind of, I'm picturing like in Aladdin when Jafar becomes the genie and it's like, okay, you want to be a genie, ultimate cosmic powers, and here's everything that goes with it. So you want people to feel jealous with you? We're going to put your divine love right next to you. Make her feel jealous of you. Make her feel worthless. Make her feel sad. Deal with that. How's that working for you? I don't think well, because I don't think you're around this person. I don't think you think very highly of this person, to be honest, even if they are successful in the material world. So it's like, this is part of their karma of they're starting to learn why that's not great to put people down. So they got out of balance in terms of their masculine energy, and that's a problem, especially here for this masculine individual, because they've built themselves in the material world and on a karmic level. This has been a long reading already, and we're like not even anywhere near done. If you need to take a break, go get a snack for yourself. Go ahead and get one. We've got a lot more that we can kind of sort through, but I'm just realizing how long this is. Anyways, that's a problem here for this masculine because all the success energy that they have around them, it actually comes from a karmic abundance that they've created in their past lives on their feminine side, their artistic side, their creative side, their ability to be diplomatic and social and have charisma. This is a person who knows how to interact with people. And I actually think women feel very comfortable around this energy, safe, cozy, understood, something here like that. But this masculine didn't want that. Oh, everybody kind of likes me thing. They wanted to be envied. And so that's when women kind of started to feel less than them and like not as included, or I don't know, like they had to perform around this masculine or something here like that. So actually, even though this is very successful, I think for some reason people, like whenever you see somebody who's like really achieved in the material world, like you hear that associated with masculinity. It's not associated with that here, or it doesn't belong to masculine energy, but that's not what's done it. They actually have kind of an abundance of value and they need to protect that value. So the value is their feminine side that got incarnated. They incarnated as a masculine energy in order to actually strengthen their masculine side. And the masculine side is the straight and narrow. That part that says, here are my values as my guiding lights, how I'm going to make my decisions, and I'm going to keep that straight and narrow. I'm not going to get shaken from this path come hell or high water. And that's how you protect things. And that's how you protect your feminine energy here as well too. Even from like emotional hurt and like being cheated upon or like something like that. It's still a form of protection, like that very steady masculine energy. And I think you've outdone this person in terms of masculine energy. I think you've stayed true to your values. And so now this person is like, this person has actually demonstrated the qualities that like I want to have in myself. So they are actually really respecting and admiring you here right away. But they got pulled off of things here in the past. Now, once they did that and their energy started tipping off, they started manifesting from that space. And this is actually a pretty powerful manifester. I don't know if they'd use that word or not, but they were just very naturally manifesting, like from in their past, very natural. They didn't even like, I feel like this person just does it and they don't even know that they're doing it. They wouldn't call it magic. They wouldn't call it anything. They would call it hard work and persistence. You know, like people say your luck increases when you're working hard. That's like kind of this masculine's ethos. It's beautiful. It's manifestation energy, but he started to manifest from a different place. So before he was drawing in people and opportunities and experiences that were very balanced and reflected that like back to him, but he got bored. He thought that was bored and that wasn't good enough. So he wanted this fast kind of passion energy in an unhealthy way. So then he started manifesting from that place and drawing in people, opportunities, whatever that were more in alignment with that. And that is what has brought him into alignment with this person here that they chose over you. And even if they met this person before they met you, it's like this they always had these two paths, and it has to do with how they're manifesting, their energy, their balance, their frequency, right? And so when they chose to be here with this person, they sealed their fate. Because it set off like this kind of chain reaction. That's what this masculine's learning, is that everything is really connected here to one another, right? And I keep saying this, I'm going to say it again because I think it's that important. We make our decisions based on the values that we have. And that gives us the value and the beauty and that we create around us. And especially our partnerships, we choose based upon the values that we have. Now, what's interesting about this masculine is they sit on the intersection of earth and fire values. And you would feel that because this is somebody who's very physical, like in their presence, maybe very sexual, very athletic, in a way where they move well in their body. But they also have a type of like substantiality and luxury and like nice things around them. Again, like they're very rooted in the physical world. This is somebody who knows like nice things, like whenever they are like kind of around it. And so there's something with that fire energy that, again, it's like very creative. It's very sensual. It's magnetic. It like really pulls people in. It's warm. It's contained. It was contained in their past, like a potbelly stove, you know, like in the past, it felt really good. But they also have this earth element. So they're able to sustain their creative projects and things like that, right? So when they met this partner, it's like this got all ruined. I don't know when I started saying ruined. I started saying it as a joke and it just like never really went away. So it got like ruined because I'm seeing like a big part, central part of this masculine's like all of their success on a spiritual level, not on a material level, on a spiritual level involves them building themselves at the intersection between earth and fire. And they really tried to remember this before they incarnated. They were like between earth and fire, between earth and fire, between earth and fire. They know they've got to keep them. They know they have to keep them. Well, what they thought is that, oh, well, I'm still keeping them. but I'm hearing like nuclear fission. It's like this was an atom, earth and fire. They were never supposed to break it, because to break it is to weaken themselves and to kind of dissolve their own energy. And that's exactly what happened here. And when they did, just like when you do it, it's like boom, like a big, explosion outwards. That's what sealed their fate here. Now, I think they were allowed to toil in vain. I think that's like kind of what's cruddy about this. But this masculine knew, and hear me when I say this, they knew every step of the way that this was the wrong way to go. They always knew it. They were trying to ignore it because they felt entitled. They felt like they deserved something, and they know that, and they hate that about themselves. They feel very much shame. They know. I don't think you really need to even say anything. They know, because they are self-reflective at this moment. They are healing. They are owning up to it. I don't think they're owning up to it to you, but within themselves that they're healing this, because what this masculine energy thought that they were going to do is continue to live out their earthiness in their career. And that's when I think you met them and you experienced them in this earthiness in their career, and you felt really drawn in by that. And they thought, well, I'm just going to live my pure fire values in regards to this relationship here, this passionate desires relationship. Now, it's base, it is cheap, it is quick, it's passionate, it's sexual. But I just want you to know this. Oh my gosh. This feminine energy, there's a lot of fake orgasms that go on her side. And he doesn't know that, because he needs to feel like a big, strong man, and she kind of knows. And she is a competitive person, and she has like competed in order to kind of like pull him away. But on a subconscious level, she doesn't have respect for men that she can actually pull that way through like her gimmicks and tricks. She wants a man that is strong and won't actually succumb to her. So it's like she wants what she can't have, and then if she gets involved with it, she can't help but destroy that energy, because there's like a hatred and there's like a disrespect. And and that's part of her soul journey that she's like kind of working on here, around this energy. But here with this masculine. But yeah, so that fire energy. Now the thing is, he made this decision to follow his pure fire energy, and he knew better than to do that, because he knows how to build things, and he built his career. It's evident. But he, for some reason, thought he was going to build a long-term sustaining relationship upon a different foundation, upon this like pure fire foundation. He knows better than that. Like, he knows to give things time, to let people show like who they are, that I'm hearing how you meet them is how you lose them, or the end and the means are one. They know about going about things the right way to build things to last, but they didn't do it. But it's like they made this fire decision to follow their lust, and they called it love, and then they tried to stuff it down into their eighth house, in their psyche, where they'll never acknowledge it again, that they made a bad decision, a rash decision, and that they were like love drunk. Because this is still a masculine who wants to appear successful in that family life. So he's going to try these two together, try to superimpose these earthy vibes over this energy. I don't think people really buy it. And I think that that's part of this divine judgment is starting to come out here, that that's not really what's going on between these two people. But they thought that they could just pretend like, oh no, this is a long-term relationship. And they measure like the long-termness of it and how successful it is in years. And that's really all they care about. And that's important for you to know, because that's not your values. Fire, the way fire goes about sustaining a relationship is through setting fires, right? Having arguments, having passion. It's the F fight cycle that we talk about over on Patreon, where you have a fight and then you make up using like passionate sex, and you just kind of keep doing that. And you need like passionate, exciting things to kind of go on. I think they create here between the two of them. I think there's a creative energy, but it doesn't really last. Like a lot of this stuff, it's like, oh, it just kind of like blips up, and then it just kind of, it doesn't get folded in here well. Part of that is because there's something about this masculine soul contract where their partner, and that they chose in alignment with their values, they're learning this, it's all connected, it's all built up, is their partner has a lot to do with the social group that they're in, and the types of people that they're meeting, and the types of people that they have significant one-to-one relationships with. So their business partners, their assistant, all of that is kind of informed, if not directly by this partner that they've chosen and these crazy values. But like, it's just like the advice that they get, the conversations that they have reinforce this like short term. The way that I want to describe it is the ends justifies the means. And that's a big no-no. in spirituality. The sages are always preaching from the place of the ends and the means are one. That's what karma is. That's how you build stuff to last, because you're working with the Tao. You're working in tandem with everything. It's this Stoic philosophy of this is how the world works. This is how you build things here if you're going to build them to last. And he got convinced, either overtly or just in a million little subtle ways, that the ends justifies the means in order to get whatever goal or whatever outcome. That's exactly the energy that brought these two together, and it will be the erosion of their downfall, because you rack up negative karma that way. And if you don't take a very esoteric point of view about it, I mean, you can still see how that doesn't yield the best results, because it makes you a hypocrite. And this masculine deeply did not want to be a hypocrite, and that's exactly what he's made himself. I don't think he necessarily, for a while, he didn't have an image that way. He seemed like maybe he had it all going on, but he was just always miserable behind the scenes. So right now, there's been a divine judgment here where either he's starting to realize like where he messed up, and that this long-term relationship, that's the other thing, is like with marriage and with the fruits of marriage, I'm just going to say this, like, that's also the difference here. This fire person is more like twin flames. Oh my gosh, it's this passionate energy. Neither one of us can stand up to it. We might as well just get swept away, and this lust energy, it's so powerful that it must mean something divine. Whereas you are more in line with marriage, where marriage is about choosing the partner that you want to be with based upon your values, based upon cooperative values, pro-social values, and learning lessons of Venus, giving and receiving, listening, how to speak like well and balanced here between the two of each other, and really focusing on your skills and refining them and reflecting them for the long haul. This is my thrill with marriage, by the way, because I'm a person who very much, marriage is my spiritual path through and through. Some people want to bodybuild. Some people want to run marathons. Some people want to like build their career to like the tops of it, and they compete, they stretch, they feel the pain of it, they feel the sweat of it, the grit of it. Marriage can be like that too, where it's just like fun, intense journey where you reach this, like these levels of strength and just endurance and things. And nobody really talks about like runner's highs that you can experience in marriage, where I'm telling you, I fall more and more and more in love with my husband, like the longer we go on, and the more I realize like what I've got in that department, who he is and how he shows up. Like, there's nothing like it, and that's like kind of the difference, is you can't reach that high on this short-term kind of energy over here. And that's what this masculine here is like really, really starting to realize. I think things are falling apart behind the scenes here for this masculine energy. They're giving the impression that they're on some kind of new beginning and that everything's fine and they're the emperor. But really there's some kind of collaboration here that has fallen apart because they are not around great people who have the same values as them, who can actually bring things into fruition, who can be trusted in the long term. I don't think they were able to be trusted here. They're around people who steal money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers. They think I think they're around thieves. I think this partner that they got involved with, whether this is a business partner, a romantic partner, they have people who could be stealing from them, even if it's their time and their energy, because I think this is such a tumultuous relationship and they're always firefighting and they never learn from their mistakes, because this masculine lies to themselves and says, one day I'm going to not have to keep putting out all these fires because we're going to have learned all of our lessons. They're not learning anything. Nothing. And this person around them, that's how they keep this masculine, is because I think this person around them kind of feels like they need to keep things exciting. And then if things get calm, that they run the risk of being cheated on or losing something. So they're always starting problems. And this masculine thinks in alignment with their values of like, well, we're just going to learn and this isn't going to be a problem in the future. It absolutely is. Like, I think he's a bit delusional, honestly, like about this. He's not wanting to, in the past at least, he didn't want to admit like going wrong here. He's also got people around him that want to use their own power and position for their own self-aggrandizement. That might include stealing things. And I think he finds himself in a position where he feels either he has wealth, but he feels poor on the inside, or he finds himself like at the service here of somebody else now, somebody bigger. And it could even be this other person that's around them. And he's always like, I'm hearing it's a dog eat dog world. And for a while this dog ate, but now this dog is, you're what they're feeding on. And I think this masculine had some wind in their sails. They had some luck behind them that was based on their karmic propensity that has now been as part of this divine judgment. Because spirit is like, no, we need to like all be dealing in reality now. We all need to start looking in the mirror about this. Because I think there was something about this man's weakness that you bore the brunt of here in the past. Like, you received the karma. And because of, it's saying here too, like because of some like rash, impulsive energy, they killed some kind of traditional value that they had. like in an instant. I'm getting in an instant. And now they have a lot of anxiety. They have a lot of anxiety when they think about you, and they feel like I think they know that they've deeply hurt you. Okay, now the other thing we still have more to go on this. I'm going to keep going because this is a very like involved reading. Now, there's another group of people here that I want to address because they got drawn into this based upon their own projections. Now, for some of you, this is going to be like what's going on here in the connection, especially if you're drawn to a younger masculine. Then this is a bit of a different circumstance and a different situation. Now, even if you are drawn to an old, I forgot what reading we're doing. Even if this is an older masculine that has a crush on you, then this scenario that I'm about to describe here could have been exactly what went on earlier in his life, especially when he was perched to take the world by storm, is what I'm getting like, or to make his ascent, to make his climb here in the material world. This is how he got like kind of derailed. But I think it's important to acknowledge that some people here are thinking that they are this like divine energy. So especially if this is younger masculine, okay, then there's an older female energy here who has a type of stature over this masculine energy. So either she's older or she's more experienced in life or in love or in a profession or a hobby that they share here together, something like that. I think she has a type of authority over this masculine energy. Either it could be a type of social authority. And so maybe she is more established and ingratiated here within a network or a community. Maybe she's very well connected, something here like that. Or she could have some type of professional authority here over this masculine. She also may have private or secret information because maybe this feminine that I'm talking about here, who seems to have a stature over this young masculine energy, she feels she has some kind of secret strategic information that she can weaponize and use to her advantage in order to prod this masculine down the path that she wants him to go, right? So if she is working in a professional capacity, it's like an 8th house profession. She also could be working in a capacity where she's giving advice here to this masculine energy, okay? So this could be a business partner. This could be a financial advisor. This could be somebody who is helping to make business decisions based on secret information, financial information, proprietary information, something like that. Could be a therapist that's helping them sort through 8th house issues. They feel like they have access to like hidden strategic information, and they absolutely plan on using that to their advantage here in the situation in order to get this masculine to be theirs, basically. And this is the competitive attitude that I am talking about. And I'm just going to say this very bluntly. A lot of you are not being realistic about the fact that you are the competitive one here in this situation. And that you have the attitude of the ends justifies the means, where you're going to do a bunch of underhanded things in order to be seen in a certain light here by this masculine. Because the way that this feminine energy, and again, take this how it resonates. Either this is who derailed your person when they were like vulnerable and like perched on the precipice of something great, or this is you interacting with a young masculine, again, who has not, if this is you in the situation, this is a masculine that I feel like they have romantic charm and potential for power. And you recognize that. They have this ability to rise and become like very big, but they haven't done it yet necessarily. So, in that case, like there's just not really getting real about it. Now, she is pursuing this masculine, but she doesn't want to be seen in that energy. She wants to be seen as maiden energy. And I think it's obvious that she's not in maiden energy for whatever reason. And if this is you and you're hearing me say that, I think you feel insulted that like I would say that, because our Western culture tells us that all women have to be maidens, regardless of their age or their experience or anything like that. But it's like, it should be celebrated. It's a good thing to like mature through maiden, mother, crone, and to work through all those energies and to connect with them in whatever way you do in your life. That's healthy. And I feel spirit trying to like really bring that back. Now, the reason that I'm bringing that up is because if this is you, I feel like this masculine was brought around you when they were having some kind of doubts and some kind of like confusion. And there was a karmic debt that actually needed to be repaid from this older feminine or this more statured feminine towards this masculine, where she was meant to give to him from a selfless place. And of maiden, mother, and crone are the ones that are coming from a selfless place in the way that I'm talking about, because they are sexually satiated as a metaphor, right? So you were not, if this was you or if this again was this other person, they were not to interact with this masculine energy from the place of sexuality because it was from a selfish place of what they wanted to gain from the situation instead of what they could give. That's been a part of this divine judgment here. So if this is a situation where, this masculine has cut contact with you or something here like that because they needed advice. That's what they needed. They needed to look out into their community and see mother crone energy, nurturing energy, selfless energy to help pick them up, reassure them, and get them back on their feet and to not interfere in anything else. And there's an admission here on this feminine's part that if she didn't scheme around and if she didn't weaponize secret information or use information to her advantage here to get this masculine, she wanted this masculine to kind of get funneled into this like tunnel vision of like, oh my gosh, you're perfect, it's you're the answer. She wanted to be seen as the puzzle piece. But what's weird too is like she doesn't see this masculine for everything that he really is because it's weird. She sees him perched like for some type of success and she recognizes there's a value in that. But she is not honoring all the work that he's done up until this point. Because even if he hasn't achieved in the material world, doesn't mean that he's just been sitting on his butt, It doesn't mean that he hasn't been making progress. You can see the momentum, you can see this. So there's been a lot that this masculine has really sorted through on his own, or maybe in connection, in his divine connection here with somebody else who is in proper maiden energy here. And so she's like discrediting that, and she instead wants to take credit. She wants to steal money, creative ideas, affection from this masculine energy through her scheming to paint herself a type of way. Now, if this is you, because I'm saying for some of you, it absolutely is you where you're doing this. And we all have our issues to work out, right? Within ourselves. I think you're afraid of getting older, or you are afraid of moving on to this like next energy here in your life. But that is really what spirit has in mind. That's the spiritual energy that runs through this. And that's why you have been moved away from this masculine energy. Right? It's not like the first one where this masculine made the wrong decisions. And so by nature of his very own karma and choices, this feminine is not accessible to him. And even if she is accessible and around him, she doesn't think of him very highly. And so he's kind of shot himself in the foot, like in regards to that. It's not like that. It's this masculine was like, he could sense that you were being selfish when you weren't supposed to. Spirit saw that you were being selfish in your interactions with this person and synthesizing it through what can I gain from this? What can I get for myself out of this? And spirit called it off in that regard. And so that's what it's important for you to understand, that this is about accessing that 8th house and really stepping into mother or crone energy for your community. That's what spirit wants you to do, to revive these archetypes, to stand in them and to bring them out to your community. Now, if you are this second person, there's an energy around them, and I think it's a male of some description. It's like a fallen emperor. It's a man who is like fallen, and she has to nurse him. So this could be a son, or there's somebody around that she's caretaking, and it's spirit is doing that. And this other soul is participating because she needs to get into this selfless service energy. She thinks too much of herself. Like I'm not making a comment on we shouldn't think of ourselves, or we should. Everything's always a balance. This is somebody who's out of balance, thinking too much of themselves, scheming around, being competitive, trying to come out on top. Everything's a scheme to this person. How can I get more? How can I get mine? How can I be seen as the top dog? It's unwise, and they always want the top spot whether or not they deserve it, And now they're being put where they've got to like actually take care of somebody else, I think on a regular basis, and that's to put them into this like service-oriented energy that they've always kind of been meant to be in. So yeah, and it could have been that like this masculine was meant to be making this other person that he decided against when he went with this other person. He was meant to be making her a mother, maiden into mother, while this other person was really meant to be mother crone and like really helping to guide from that motherly warm place. And I think that would have been obvious. Like there's something kind of obvious about that, So this has been such a long reading. But in that case, I feel like she abused her professional role or her stature in some way. And it's hard for her to look at that directly in the eye, that she has been scheming around, that she was tampering, because the Tao is the natural flow of things. That's the will of God. And I don't think that the natural will of God would have brought these two together in some kind of a romantic way. And it might not have, because this masculine might have really not been interested and like moved away, or spirit moved the two of them away or something here like that. But it was really, really wrong and underhanded. whatever went on here. So now, this masculine that is older, so either this is what happened when they were young that I just described, and like he's starting to come to terms with this and everything, but this masculine here who's got this crush on the feminine, they're signaling their crush. They're watching you in some capacity. They are, I don't even think they're planning, I just think they're waiting patiently for an opening, and they're trying to signal to you that they love you and that they are the one for you and that you can trust them. Who does that sound like? That sounds like this other person. So there's a bit of this masculine in this kind of performative energy. They're like, hey, a performance super worked on me in the past. Like maybe it's going to work on pile number 2, but you actually have stronger yang than this masculine energy. That means you can keep your word. You can keep your values. It's admirable as F. It's admirable as all get out. So this is a very complex situation and spirit runs through it. So the other thing that I'm really getting is that spirit did not, in the past, like in these messages, was not so focused on pulling these two groups of feminines like apart from each other. One that has been kind of doing scheming but thinks she's a divine counterpart and is competitive and tries to tear other women down and is trying to tear down a very beautiful, nice person by projecting out negative qualities onto her, right? And this other person who feels bad because this masculine did not properly mirror her worth and her value, right? Spirit didn't do such a good job of pulling these two apart, has kept them in the same piles and things like that in the reading, because Spirit's agenda, even though it's ultimately different, where somebody here needs to wake up and start being like a mother and a crone, and that's what this was meant to do. It was supposed to be some kind of wake up call of like, it's weird that you're interacting in maiden energy, who would let you do that? Like who, without thinking it was weird, because it's not you, it's not where you're at, it's not authentic, right? Something here like that versus this other maiden energy who it's like, this is his problem, that he can't see your worth and your beauty and your value and stuff. And I think Spirit is getting some healthy mirroring in where this feminine is starting to realize and get this mirrored back, maybe even through other women, that she's beautiful and she's worthy and she's valuable and all that stuff. Because this is all by way of a spiritual awakening, and that is happening. This is like a strong 8th house energy that's going on. You cannot sniff around these connections that you're picking up on here in pile number 2 without dipping into the 8th house, like in a really, really big way. And that's always unpleasant, where we've got to look at things that we don't like about ourselves. So what's been going on here in these readings is Spirit is just shoving you down into your 8th house. So you're getting very used to building up that spiritual muscle where you're shining a light on all this 8th house stuff that you're afraid to look at, your fears, your traumas, your taboos. You're getting very used to asking yourself the question of, why do I do what I do? What's motivating my behavior here? And is there a better way that I can get that met, a healthier way that's in alignment with my values? It doesn't come out all weird and distorted. So you're already kind of, and I think almost without your notice, if you've been processing this connection through tarot, through therapy, journaling, whatever, every time you start to process it, it's like you're living life on a deeper plane. And that's ultimately what these connections are about for Spirit on a general level, pushing you deeper, getting you to interact with life and yourself in a much, much deeper capacity. And it's a Kundalini awakening, because every time you start to activate that 8th house by shining the light on it, all that dust gets kicked up, all those deep emotions start to churn around, and that's what's activating that Kundalini energy. So there's spiritual missions here for every single person in this pile. I do think there's a masculine and feminine who were supposed to be brought together here that were not, and I do think there's some sort of backup plan. I'm seeing a system of women that are like connected somehow on a light grid. They're all lanterns. They're supporting each other. They're coming together. And this masculine needs to sort himself out, is what I'm getting, because he focused on himself throughout his life. Now he's got to focus on himself to clean himself up. And I still think that he's still very worthy of respect, this masculine energy. He's failed. Who hasn't? He feels shameful. I hope he doesn't feel shameful for too long, because it's just like a stuck energy. Like it's not going to get him anywhere. But I do see him healing. And I do think that he's going to have to rebuild. He's going to have to rebuild something here, because he wants so badly to work in tandem with Spirit, which is so, so good. But he's going to have to rebuild something here in order for it to be suitable. Because this energy was created in the past is just not suitable for that to take place. So everybody here Spirit is really heavily after y'all, to get you online. So that is what I'm getting. And just on a happy note, this masculine who has a crush, let's just get some messages and then we will be done with this. I'm playing games on purpose. Please don't go. This is something learned. This is a learned pattern here from this other relationship that he was in. I think that it's funny because I don't think he's really acting or anything. I think he likes to play games like sports or like board games or something like that. But he's hiding his feelings and stuff. Love will keep us together. See, this is where he's been a little bit tainted here by this other energy that's like, love is all you need, you know? And it's like, you got to put your back into it a little bit, you know? He's really afraid to lose you, I think. What else? Oh boy. I heard something about you. I knew it. It's like you guys keep hearing things on the wind about each other. I keep writing and deleting messages. And your kindness has changed my life. I think that it's your fortitude. I think you have demonstrated your worth and your beauty and your actions consistently over time in a way that there's no denying it. The other thing I want to say here about your femininity, the funny thing is he was drawn in by this person who had these fire values, right? But it was very unrefined and not matured. Venus lives in the center of all the fire signs. That's why it's so beautiful and it's so magnetic. But it's a being energy. So you have fire energy all around you. This sexuality, this magnetism. I think he thinks about you in the color red. I'm wearing red, funny enough. So there's something here about red. And I'm hearing Red, like the song Red by Taylor Swift. That was this other connection. And also the song Daylight. You represent daylight. This other person is red. You should listen to those songs to understand this masculine's energy here. But what I'm saying is that this fire energy is kind of all around you. It's juicy. It's being energy. And I don't think what you realize is you were competitive. You weren't competing, but you were competitive with this person without even trying. So part of like this situation and what you're learning is to harness your own sexual energy, your own magnetism, your own creativity, to not be afraid to kind of use it. Because I think that you don't want to draw somebody from their own path. You don't want to tamper. You don't want to get involved with it. It's not a crime for you to use what you got. That's kind of what I'm thinking. In whatever way you want to. Like to really pick it up. And this masculine kind of wants in on it. They see it now and to a point where they're like, how could I have not seen this? Your head was in your ass. I keep trying to say that. It's like so obvious to them now. The sexuality, the sensuality, the potential, the excitement, like it's all there. And they're seeing it so clearly. They want to get in here. They want to play around with it. I do think this is a creative masculine. It's very good with their hands. It's like they want to mold something here, like around you. They want to build something for you. I don't know what it is. They see it. They're like, this would be right there. They want to build it. They want to just put you right in it. This masculine wants to build something for you and around you. I don't know what it is, but very creative. You inspire this masculine. You are a muse. I think you're a huge inspiration on their own journey to health and healing. And if this is an addict, which I think it is, like a recovering addict, the thing is like an addict is always an addict. Like they're always just kind of managing that. And I think you have kind of like replaced an addiction as a part of this like healing journey. And them relating to you is actually they're learning what they need to get what they need to like overcome this. So it's actually, this addiction's actually giving to them on a philosophical level, on a spiritual level. It's realigning them. It's like on multiple layers like of their own existence here. So yeah. And I know this has been, how long is this reading? It's been like, I don't know, I feel like 2 hours. But this might be the longest reading I've ever done. But it's because we have dipped into this energy before. It's like, but there's some clarity that's available now because this divine judgment. And I think that's important for you to know. Spirit wants me to tell you to this very clearly because there was something about this masculine, how things went out with this masculine, what went on here. It made you not believe in God. Not like that. It made you not believe in faith, fairness, karma. Like, okay, well, if things were really fair, if people get what they deserve here, you're like, I didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve to be treated this way. No, you didn't. And let that light a fire up under your ass. You don't deserve to be treated this way. But Spirit is saying it's flipping now. They can't keep anything that they built here. They're getting their karma. Everybody here is getting their karma. And the Spirit just wants you to know that not because you're vengeful, you're absolutely not. I actually think there's a part of your energy that was staving off the karma for this masculine for a while because you're just so beautiful. Pile number 2, you really just are. But I think you need to hear that everybody is getting their karma now who was effing with you in the past. You don't have to lift a finger. I think you trusted that you didn't need to get involved. You didn't need to dirty yourself and stoop to people's levels. You just needed to keep focused. They're all getting what they deserve. They're getting what they built. They're getting what they put into stuff, and them sitting back and watching you get eaten alive, or whatever happened. They're getting that. They're getting that. Okay, pile number 2. It was so long. I think we beat some kind of a record. If you're still here, I just want to say thank you for listening. If you got something out of this, please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This was kind of a long one. I don't usually ask for donations, but if you got something out of this and you feel like donating to my channel just $1 or $2, like as a tip, I could really use it. Not like in a monetary situation, but these readings have been really, really intense. I put a lot of time and energy and effort in, and it just it's really, really taking it out of me. So don't feel pressure to do it. And if it's going to be a strain on you, please don't do it at all. But anyways, that's what I have you guys piled over to. Bye. Okay, so pile number 3, who has a crush on you? So right away, I can tell that you do not feel the same way about this person as they feel towards you. So I'm not going to spend too terribly long here on this pile. I don't want to make you feel super uncomfortable or anything like that, but I do feel like this could have been communicated here to this person recently. Either it was very direct and overt, or it was like in a more subtle manner, but I do think it was in some way made clear here to this person. So either they confessed their feelings, they asked you out or something like that, and you had to, respond like very directly that you didn't feel the same way about it and you see them as a friend, that kind of a thing. Or it could have just been that you became like very perceptive here about this person and about the way that they were like responding to your overall personality and maybe how they were misinterpreting your overall personality. That's really how I want to put it, because I think your personality, like you are fiery, you're warm, you're gregarious, you're charismatic. I think you can be very passionate here. Like you have creative projects or ideas or something that you're very passionate about. And I think sometimes you can talk in a very passionate kind of a way. You're very inclusive. You can be very quick-witted, something here like that. But this is how you just are. Like you're this way to like a lot of other people. I think it's kind of obvious that you're this way to a lot of other people, but you started to realize that this person was misinterpreting that as like attraction or like a type of specialness, like directed only towards them, even though that's not the case. And this person is just so enamored with you, and that's why they misinterpreted it. They was like, they really, really, really just wanted it to be true. So they were just looking for any kind of confirmation that you felt the same way towards them. This is a person here that they don't feel attractive. Enough for you, I think. But I think this goes beyond you. I think they don't feel attractive, like just within themselves. There could be like a self-esteem issue around this. Either it's temporary, because we all go in and out of phases like that, where we just, been hitting the Oreo cookies a little too hard, not really feeling beautiful or something. And we all just kind of dip in and out of phases like that. So it could be that this person's going through a moment, or that this is something more chronic, where they don't have a self-image of themselves as being like very attractive. And I do think that there's something this person does around their eyes, like to maybe draw you in, or maybe they think their eyes are like a really good feature and they want to draw you in with their eyes or something. I think there's something they do to their eyes to catch your eye, to catch your attention. So it could be that they're even thinking about like LASIK or having some kind of a procedure done around their eyes. Or they wear eyeshadow, eyeliner, lashes. Or like they wear their contacts, or they wear their glasses, however they think that they look nicest. They do that whenever you're going to be around. Now, okay, there definitely is a lot of fantasizing here, and I'm not gonna drag out all the gory details. Okay, just know like it's all there, like the romance and the everything. But because this person doesn't feel very attractive, like part of their fantasy that they really like think about is you kind of in a moment realizing them. Like I'm hearing that Taylor Swift song. It's like, can't you see that I'm the one who understands you, been here all along, so why can't you see that you belong with me? They wait for that moment. They fantasize about you seeing something in them, like, and it has to do with their mind, like their intelligence, their creativity, their passion, their spark, their drive, because they see you as a very creative person, and they see you as somebody who's well-rounded, and they see you as somebody, frankly, like who's not a jerk. and who's not shallow and who's not superficial. And so they know that you make these kinds of connections of different dimensionalities here with people, and they want you to make that with them in a way that you just become so enamored and so engrossed with them. And you realize that they're the one for you, and you're like, they really like when your attention is on them, when you're praising them, when you find them interesting and unique and sparkly. And that's really what they kind of fantasize about here. I think they want to, honestly, it's like they want to be in a relationship with you so bad, like more than anything. They might think that it would complete them, or it would validate them or something, or it would transform them. I don't know, something here like that. I do think that they're green with envy in regards to other people, like even just your attention, being on other people. They really watch you and how you talk and how you interact with other people because they're jealous. They're like kind of always scanning to see if you have feelings for somebody else. This is a person who might know that you like somebody before you know you like somebody. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, something here like that. But this person, they look up to you here in some type of way. So maybe you're taller than them. That could be true. Or, you could work on like, I don't know, where you have to stand somewhere where you're up higher. But I do think they literally look up to you, especially for your mind, the way that you communicate, your creativity, your talents, your skills. You're an inspiration to them. I feel like you're a muse. Like they want to, not only do they like you, they admire you, they want to be like you. They have a lot of respect here for your energy. And yeah, they think that you have a lot of responsibilities, that you're very burdened, and that you maybe have left something, or you've moved on in order to pursue some kind of like new responsibility or something like that. If you have communicated or clarified or made clear, because part of this making clear is like if you were just picking up on that this person had a crush on you and it wasn't like kind of out there in the open, I feel like you might have just changed your demeanor around this person, your tone of voice, the way you interact with them. Like you have more of a flat affect. You're more cut and dry with your responses, because you don't want to like really egg this on. So it's like you're establishing a boundary without really establishing a boundary, Well, I mean, you are establishing a boundary, but if that's the case, then this person has like definitely gotten the message. And I do think they're judging themselves and they're kind of beating themselves up about it. And they've got like a lot going on here in their mind, but they are like folding that in, and I do feel like this person is going to move on here from this connection here, and from their fantasies about you for the most part. And that's what I'm kind of wanting to say, because for the most part, these people, they're very harmless and they respect your self-sovereignty. They're going to respect your no. But I do just want to say there's like a minority in this group where this person is like, okay, I just heard the word deranged. Like they have this like mouth open kind of a thing towards you, and they're like hunting you. So this is somebody who's kind of like shifting around. They could shift their style, their personality, their body. Like some of these people, they're getting like procedures and stuff done that they think that is going to make them attractive to you, or they think about doing that, something here like that. And because they are not going to accept your no. But that's like for a very, very small few of you. I do see that you're ready here. Like you feel confident enough. I think you feel confident about how you communicate yourself just in general, but I think you feel confident enough that if a stronger boundary needed to be asserted, or if you needed to really like, you're a nice person. I'm not saying that you like to be mean or anything, but if you needed to assert yourself like in this situation, I think you're prepared to do that, or you're prepared to take next steps. Like if this person's going to be weird towards you, and not respect you. So yeah, it's a lot going on here, but that's really what I'm getting. Like I said, I don't think you feel the same way here about this person. So I'm sorry if that was anticlimactic and that's not something that you were really hoping for. But if it's any consolation, I feel like you're sexy, pile number 3. I feel like you've got this really like just passionate, gregarious energy. You communicate yourself really well. You're very talented. I think you've got, a lot of people are going to like you. So maybe you were drawn to one of the other piles. I think you're a very attractive person. I'm just getting that. So I'm sure that there's other people here who have a crush on you. I'm not sure why this one would come up, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's what I'm getting for you guys. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.